Let's get a Democrat perspective on the shutdown now. We can speak to Congressman Brad Sherman of California. Congressman, it's good to see you again, and we will talk about the shutdown. I just want to start, however, with the ceasefire agreement in Gaza, as I know you've been a very vocal supporter of Israel in Congress. We know the president is headed to the region, we believe, on Sunday. He will be going to Israel. How optimistic are you about this ceasefire agreement holding?
First, I want to express my hopes and prayers for the people of Tennessee. I am hopeful, and particularly hopeful, of phase one. Israel has withdrawn to the yellow line, and now it's time for the hostages to come home. And I think it would be a huge accomplishment if we get the hostages released. Then the second phase needs to be finalized, and that involves disarming Hamas and ending Hamas's control of the people of Gaza. And it will be interesting to see if that goes forward. On the one hand, Hamas has backed out of many, many deals. On the other hand, if they actually give up the hostages, one would expect that they wouldn't do that unless they plan to go forward with the rest of the deal.
Okay, let's move to the shutdown then, Congressman. We played those two clips of the Speaker, of the House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and we have seen that layoffs have started. That was confirmed by Russ Vought today. Are Democrats going to have to reconsider their position here if we're going to see these layoffs start to expand?
Look, they've been doing layoffs and fork in the road memos and Doge and Elon Musk. The government shutdown is just their latest excuse to do what they've been doing month after month since President Trump took office. And there is no assurance that no matter what Congress does, that they will stop that process of politicizing the civil service and firing people who have spent their lives trying to help the American people. But we need to stay strong. Republicans say that they will talk to us about health care if we vote the way they want. Well, they wouldn't talk to us about health care in the winter. They wouldn't talk to us about health care in the spring. They wouldn't talk to us about health care in the summer. And I have little doubt that if they get everything they want, they will go back to not talking about 22 million Americans who are going to see their health care premiums double unless Congress takes action. And those Americans are getting letters right now saying it's time to renew their policies for next year. And as far as they know, it's with the premium doubling. That's a crisis we need to deal with now. And it's a crisis Republicans not only refused to talk about while the government shut down, they refused to talk about it when the government was open.
Congressman, you know that Republicans have said this is not about these health care subsidies. This is about Democrats simply trying to put up some resistance to President Trump and his agenda. What do you say to that?
It's about the health care subsidies. And if it wasn't about the health care subsidies, why didn't they talk to us in January, February, March, April, May? They have stonewalled the fact that 22 million Americans are going to see their premiums double. They refused to talk then, and now they're saying they refuse to talk now because we're not serious about talking. We've been trying to talk to them since the beginning of this year. They want the premiums to go up because they feel that having given so much in tax breaks to the multi-billionaires, the federal government can't afford to provide even some help to working families who don't have health care coverage from their employer and need it through Obamacare.
Okay, Congressman Brad Sherman of California, it's always good to speak to you here on BBC News. Thank you so much for joining us.